airman story. What got you to the Air Force? I'll answer the what got me to the Air Force question here real fast. I was at a very expensive school with enough money to go 1 year. And then after that, I was going to have to transfer someplace else and go someplace else. And my parents sent me to that school and said, figure out a way to pay for year 2 through whatever. And so I heard that, or knew that Air Force ROTC had potential scholarships. So I walked in the door in 1989 and said, what do I need to do to compete for a scholarship? And they handed me a uniform, and they handed me an application, and then they said, go study. And so that's my introduction to the Air Force in the fall of 1989 on campus at USC, just a little bit south of us. So that's how I joined the Air Force and the why. Obviously, a lot has changed in the last, can't believe it's been 32 years, but here I sit. So a little bit about yourself, maybe your what got you the Air Force story.
Well, it was a similar story, actually, sir. I had a check mailed out to go to Cal Poly San Luis Obispo. I'm originally from Lake Tahoe, California. And then found out I got in the Air Force Academy. Didn't have a ton of family in the military. Was excited to go, wanted to go fly jets. And then about week 3 of basic training, somebody said, why don't you do ROTC? And I said, what's that? Didn't realize you could actually go to a school and be in the Air Force and go fly jets. That time I was already committed, so I had a great time at the academy. Then went on to go fly the world's greatest fighter jet, the F-16, obviously. And then was stationed over in Germany, where I met my wife, Emma. And then we were in Kunsan, Korea for a year, so push it up, go Pantons. And then now we are out here and have a 1-year-old son, Bo, and loving life.
All right. So that's a little bit more than the what got him, but there's his whole life story so far. Right. Butcher, I will tell you that it will not be many blinks of the eye before you're in a seat like this, having looked back on a couple decades worth of awesomeness. So thanks for doing that, and congratulations again on being the first quarter OTQ FGOQ. So,
thanks, sir.
All right. With that, without any further ado, remember, if you have comments, questions, or concerns, text them in 707-412-8922. Many of you got an email from Ms. Schweitzer earlier that, hey, here are the categories and the nominees. So we're not going to read the nominees today. We're only going to pull out the category and the winner. So Butcher's just going to pull from the stack. He's going to say what the category is, and then we'll figure out who gets to open and make the announcement. So what's the first category we have there?
Sir, the first category is the team of the quarter.
Awesome. So team of the quarter. I don't remember who the nominees were, but I'll do the first announcement here.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah. All right. So team of the quarter. Is the so how about I just spoil it right now, right?
There we go.
There you go. These are all the competitive teams, and can you flash back to the one that's going to show me? Go ahead. Can you zoom in on it's the Ops Engineering team, and this is your actual trophy, Ops Engineering team. Congratulations. All of the other trophies that or awards or plaques, whatever you want to call them, that were handed out for second quarter award winners look like this. Gorgeous silhouette, a great example of air power and what we've done here at the Center of the Aerospace Testing Universe. So congratulations, Ops Engineering and the 412th Civil Engineering Group. All right, one down. Who's next, Butcher?
All right, sir. The next is the CTF team of the quarter.
Awesome, CTF team of the quarter. You're biased. You're in a CTF, so I got to do that one too.
Sir.
I'm not. So our CTF team of the quarter, they're the nominees, and the winner is, I got to say it, the Legacy 5th Gen Fighter CTF, the F-22 Combined Task Force. Congratulations, Team Raptor, for CTF team of the quarter. I know that that trophy will go in a long list of awards that team has pulled down over its history here at Takata 2. Congratulations, F-22 CTF. All right. Next category.
Next one up, sir, is the supervision and management of the quarter.
All right. I'll let you handle this one. Go ahead.
Try this one. They're your nominees, and the winner from the 412th MXG, Sean Height.
Congratulations, Sean.
Congratulations, Sean.
Yeah, and MXG, thanks for getting that up. Talk about a competitive organization to be any category in MXG. If you fought out of that one, you were highly competitive at the wing. Congratulations. Next category.
All right, next up is the scientific and engineering of the quarter.
All right, scientific and engineering civilian category of the quarter. They're your nominees. As you can see, it spans the entirety of the test wing. And our winner this quarter is, Butcher?
From the 412th EWG, Dan Katz.
All right, Dan, congratulations.
Congrats, Dan.
Yeah. All right. I can barely spell EW, and he lives it. I love it.
Next up, or,
Go
sorry,
ahead. No, go ahead. Next category.
Jumping the gun. Specialist and analyst of the quarter. There's your nominees.
Your nominees there, again, spanning the entirety of the 412 test wing with a very, very strong list of competitors. Our winner as the specialist analyst of the second quarter of 2021 is?
From the 412th MXG, Ted Metzgar.
Congratulations, Ted. All right. Our next category, program project manager. While he opens the envelope, I'll let you peruse the nominees there, or the contenders. Again, we have a total of 7 competitors there from the 11 potential candidate pools. Nice. And our winner in that very high talented pool of people is?
From the 412th MSG, Natalie Alba.
Congratulations, Natalie.
Thanks, Natalie.
And again, congratulations to MSG. All right. Next category.
For staff or technician of the quarter. They're your nominees, and the winner is, from the 412 CEG, Marvin Morales.
Congratulations, Marvin, from the civil engineering group. So maybe he was on the ops engineering group, so he gets 2 trophies this quarter. If not,
awesome.
Well-deserved and well-earned for CE group at the individual level, not just at the team level, which we started with. So congratulations, Marvin. All right, our next category, trades, labor. Total of 5 nominees from those 5 high-profile, high-vis, high-speed organizations are listed there. Our winner in that category is?
From the 412th MXG again, Mr. Robert Turner.
Congratulations, Robert. And if you're like me, you probably don't go by your full first name, so I don't know if it's Rob or Bob or whatever you go by, but congratulations. I look forward to meeting you and shaking your hand. Congratulating you on your well-earned accolade here. Our next category, administrator or CSS of the quarter. Go back to the chart, please, of the nominees. You can see there that it's a total of 7 contenders. High talent pool, as they are in all categories there. Butcher, the winner?
From the 412th MXG, Jesse Jarwin.
Congratulations, Jesse. All right. Becca, you know him?
No, I'm just saying maintenance.
Yeah, maintenance is doing well. Not quite as sweet, but certainly ahead in the horse race. All right. So full disclosure, nobody wins 2 in a row, Butcher, so I'm sorry, your name's not going to be on this one, but that's all right. The FGO of the quarter, 3 nominees. I know these 3 personally, and I can tell you that these are always exceptionally tight competitions. That is awesome. As all of you know, the second quarter was a big quarter for the Med Group, and we're not just talking about the number of inoculations they gave, but what they did getting us through that quarter was fantastic, with more in the near future. All right, CGOQ, one of my favorite 4-letter phrases. CGOQ nominees there from a total of 7 of our groups. Listed there. Again, very, very tight competition always in this category. Our CGOQ, I had a little inside trader information that you may know this person. Butcher, who's the winner?
I may do a recount on this one, but it says on here 412th MXG, Captain Alexander Barden.
Yes, so congratulations, Alex. Alex is a part of a high-power couple. So Team Barden, Team Captains Barden. Alex, congratulations. What you kind of don't know, folks, is that much like Major Baker was poached from the 412 test wing to work at the test center, Alex Barden has recently been poached as the junior exec to the test center. So I guess the lesson learned for me is I need to be careful who wins these categories if I don't want to lose you guys. Clearly, General Dirteen's making great selections. Alex, congratulations. I know you did awesome. I'm going to miss you seeing you at the AMU down at the 461st, but you're going to rock it as an exec. Congratulations.
Definitely rocking it already.
All right, our senior NCO of the quarter.
All right.
Total of 7 nominees. Horse race to the finish, photo finish as it always was, or always is. There, Butcher, the winner, our next NCOQ.
For the 412th MDG, Kaduja Taylor.
Congratulations, Sergeant Taylor. And you'll have to give me, make sure I'm very precise as I get your name right when I congratulate you in person. Med Group, congratulations, yet another winner. All right, NCOQ, another one of my favorite 4-letter acronyms, non-commissioned officer of the quarter, total of 8 nominees or 8 contenders there. And you can see it spans the gamut across the wing. Butcher, who is our selectee as the 412th Test Wing NCOQ?
Sir, from the 412th CEG, Tech Sergeant Christopher Lavoie.
Congratulations, Chris. CEG bringing it strong. All right, fantastic. All right, our next category, Airman of the Quarter. You can see there are 7 high-speed, low-drag nominees spanning the wing in all of our mission sets listed there. Congratulations, all of you are winners already at the group level. That is an outstanding achievement to see group-level wins that early in your career. But one of you gets the wing level award also this early in your career, and that airman is?
From the 412th MSG, Senior Airman Shate.
Congratulations, Aaron, and congratulations again to Mission Support Group for such a strong contender, as always. All right, our next category. You guys can flip to the next slide. Our Honor Guardsman of the Quarter. Now, while Butcher's getting ready to read the name here, this is a great opportunity for me to step aside and say, all of us see the fantastic work that the Blue Eagles Honor Guard does at changes of command, at retirements, at other big ceremonies like that. But the primary purpose for the Honor Guard is not to do those ceremonies. This is a very visible and a very valuable one. The primary purpose of the Honor Guard is for them to travel in the region that we are responsible for and to provide full military honors at the funeral or other type of memorial service for veterans. They do hundreds of those events a year. And so to get on the Honor Guard means you're really busy. They're exceptional professionals, and they represent our service and our nation well, especially in those moments for a grieving family. With that, there's always one that rises above the rest. The creme de la creme, if you will, of the Honor Guard this quarter is?
From the 412th MXG, Senior Airman Winston Harris.
Congratulations, Senior Airman Harris. Well done. And please pass on my gratitude, as always, to the rest of the Blue Eagles Honor Guard team. And congratulations for rising above. All right, we have a total of 6 nominees for our innovation team of the quarter. As all of you know, that often you spell Takatatu, or often Takatatu is also stated innovation. It's in the air we breathe, it's in the dirt we walk on, or maybe the dust we get on our boots. It is just the mindset that has been here forever. And so those 7 teams are already doing awesomeness above what is just a baseline expectation here, which is greatness. Of those 7 teams, there's one that stood out this quarter. That team would be?
Sir, you may have seen them on the news. They're the Fox Tablet team.
I love the Fox Tablet team. Congratulations, team. All right. Our next category. So that was the innovative team. Now we're innovator as the individual of the quarter. Nominees from 5 of our groups, winners outright, and making us all better because of their think outside the box, agile thinking, and not accepting the status quo for what has to be in the future are there. Of those 5 individuals, the one we're going to highlight individually at the wing this quarter is?
From the 412th TENG, Noah Jackowitz.
Congratulations, Noah. You're amongst a high-power group of engineers there, and to stand out in that way is exceptional. Well done. For a Safety Well Done award, there's this is near and dear to my heart, right? Nobody ends up in a Safety Well Done award because of something that they plan to do. Often it's they found themselves in a scenario and they actually did something that was unexpected, and they did it right. Go back to the nominees, please. I can run down this list and talk about all of the, can you go back to the list of nominees? Go back a slide for me, unless it's locked up. If I go down the list of nominees here, I can actually personally list the resources and, in many cases, the people that we have saved because of the Safety Well Done Award performances. And thank you for nominating those to Wing Safety. The one that stood out to our Wing Safety team this quarter the most, however, next slide, is the airdrop team from the 412th Operations Group. Well done. All right, next category. Our For the Warfighter Award. We have a total of 7 nominees. They're all individuals spanning the entirety of the wing. As you know, we have a few tenets in the Air Force Test Center. One of them is a relentless focus on the warfighter. And these 7 individuals have exemplified that focus this quarter. The one that we're going to highlight, we're going to focus as the most focused person on the warfighter this last quarter was?
From the 412th OG, that's Christopher Lee.
Congratulations, Chris. Well done. All right, our next category, Our volunteer of the quarter, we got 2 nominations this year, one from Air Force Plant 42 and the other from the maintenance group. As you know, a lot of folks do a lot of volunteer activities. It's always worth highlighting the greatness that we do, and as we are ambassadors outside the gates to our community, and frankly within our community as well. The one that we're going to highlight of those 2 nominees this quarter is
From the 412th MXG, Staff Sergeant Manuel Gurion.
another winner from maintenance group. Congratulations. All right, our last category. As I look at the
For Spouse of the Quarter.
our last category, Spouse of the Quarter. We have a bunch of nominees, but the one that I love it. The one that I want to highlight this quarter, or the one that we get to highlight this quarter, is next slide. Mr. Paul Tierney, the 412th Test Engineering Group. Thank you, Paul, for everything you do. You also work for us in your own stead, but to be highlighted and nominated in the spouse category is probably something new in your career. It's well earned, well deserved. I'm glad to have you on the team off duty as well. So congratulations, Paul, as our spouse of the quarter winner. So Butcher, we got a bunch of paper on the floor with us. Those are the quarterly winners of the 412 Test Wing, from the 412 Test Wing. All of you, congratulations. I want to say thank you for the folks that allowed you to do those works, the ones that challenged you, your supervisors, your commanders, directors, maybe your subordinates, your peers. If there's not the friendly, on the fields of friendly strife competition, then a lot of us won't be as good as we can be. And I'm confident that was a big factor in the performances that we just got a chance to just briefly highlight here. In addition to that, awesome performance doesn't always just magically appear at a wing, in a wing board to select somebody of the quarter. Somebody has to write something down. Somebody has to defend or nominate or edit those write-ups. They're typically on an Air Force Form 1206. If you were a part of any of the process that generated, QC'd, or made those 1206s stronger, thank you. Thank you for doing that, and thank you for continuing to take care of our awesome Big A Airmen. All right. So there are a couple other awards that I want to highlight at the MAGCOM and above level. So let's highlight that we had a General Llewellyn award for Master Sergeant Richardson from the maintenance group. There's a couple trophies you see here on the table between Butcher and I today that are typical maintenance professional awards. There are trophies headed your way for those of you. We also won the Air Force Materiel Command Maintenance Effectiveness Award in the medium aircraft maintenance. So that's medium is still hundreds of people. Can you go back to the chart, please? Still hundreds of people. Obviously, it was within the maintenance group, but if you can go back to the chart for me, driving behind the scene, guys and gals. Thank you. 412th Maintenance Squadron. And that is always competitive within the maintenance group, but you also won not just within your own group of high performers, you won across the entirety of AFMC in the medium aircraft maintenance size. So congratulations. And then, back. Good. There we go. All right. Our 2020 Test Team of the Year and a named 2020 Leaf Test Team of the Year, the F-22 Combined Task Force. So not only did they just win the quarterly CTF of the quarter, they're also winning at the AFMC level for of the year performances. So well done, Raptor Task Force and Team Raptor. All right, any more? There's a few more, I'm told. All right, we have some Lance P. Saigon nominations. There's only one Lance P. Saigon award, and that's at the Air Force level, but we have some nominations here in both the senior officer category and in the senior NCO category. I have worked with both those folks. They're both exceptional leaders, and it doesn't surprise me that they bubbled to the top for their Saigon Award nominees. Congratulations. Our GEICO Military Service Award goes to those four, goes to those in those two categories, the drug and alcohol abuse prevention, goes to Tech Sergeant Lestrap from MSG, and accident prevention or traffic safety, also to an outstanding senior NCO in MSG, Master Sergeant Menno. Congratulations, both of you, for your high-level recognition. Next slide. All right. I told you that we had winners, or not winners, but nominees for the Lance P. Sidejohn above our level, but these were the 4 categories that were nominated from the 412 test wing. In addition to the 2 that we've already mentioned, we also have in the NCO category Staff Sergeant Guerrero, and we have a Captain Wilmot that earned wing level recognition for a Sidejohn nominee. Congratulations, all 4 of you, and thank you for your exceptional and outstanding leadership, especially in such trying times the last 12 months. Next slide. Yeah, next slide. Thanks. We have a couple 2021 Tuskegee Awards to highlight there. In the CGO category, mentioned his name twice now, Captain Alex Barden from the 412th Maintenance Group. Yeah, he really is, and that's what he's done as an AMU OIC. We haven't even seen his performance at the Air Force Test Center yet, so congratulations again, Alex. And in the NCO category, we've got Technical Sergeant Vong, also from MXG. Congratulations. And then in the senior NCO category, also a nominee, but this one from the Mission Support Group, Master Sergeant Howard. Congratulations, all 3 of you, for your awards and your nominations. Good luck at the next level. All right. So, Butcher, this is always an exciting broadcast for me. I wish that we could do these in person in the theater and have hundreds of people and cowbells and unit chants and all that kind of stuff. But the reality of the scenario that we find ourselves in this current place in the pandemic, requires us to do something like this. So congratulations to all of you that won. Congratulations to all of you that were nominated, and thank you all for the work that you did, the mission that you've accomplished here at Tecate the last quarter, and for those of you that are getting annual awards in the period of performance, the annual period of performance for that award. So congratulations. All right. Let me pivot one more question. I'll ask Major Baker to come up with one more item here. So Butcher, we sat across the round table in the office at Test Pilot School. I asked you a few questions, gave you the warning, right, that I received. Hey, when you transition from the CAF into Air Force Materiel Command, the chances of you going back to combat and doing those kinds of things that you've done so far go down, not to 0, but they go down dramatically. It's more in some MDSs than others, but it is definitely true in yours. But the benefit, or the holy cow, what do I get to impact and what do I get to change, is really, in my opinion, very much worth that transition, or that lost opportunity. I can think back to what I gave up, or what I didn't get a chance to do in the CAF when I transitioned as a captain into Air Force Materiel Command, but I look at all the impact I've made positively on the warfighter since then, in my last math and public 18 years from a student to now. In your relatively short time since you graduated from Test Pilot School, give me an example of something that you've done that is either in the field or will shortly be in the field that you want to highlight, and how awesome it is to be able to impact the next generation of what's fielded. So give me an example.
Gotcha, yes sir. Not on the spot or anything. The biggest thing kind of thinking of is just F-35 software progression. So the operational flight profiles of what we're actually putting in the jet in terms of new combat capability, as well as just functionality and safety. We're doing things that are 5+ years ahead of the time frame. So talking to friends that are in the combat Air Force, what they're flying with now, and saying, oh, we're flying that 5 years ahead of time, influencing how that's going to be adapted to the warfighter. And then uniquely for the F-35 is working with our OT brothers and sisters over in ACC, and being able to integrate and have directly to the warfighter to try to get the most pertinent combat capability fielded. So while I really say F-35 software is a very broad brush overview.
It is.
It's a lot of lines of code, I think, in that.
Yeah, just a couple.
It's like, one or two.
Yeah, just a couple.
But really, that's probably the biggest impact, just getting early focus on follow-on modernization for the F-35.
Yeah, let me get to just a little bit more specifics. One of the things that I think you learn as a 4-ship flight lead in the community that Butcher and I grew up in, but you also learn as a mission commander in that community as well. And it isn't something unique to just the beautiful airplanes that are behind me on the screen right now. It is unique, however, to leaders that we develop and grow in the Air Force, which is almost everybody. and that is you build a team, you put a coalition of the willing together, and you keep a focus on what really matters. Butcher, I know you joined the F-35 Combined Task Force in an era where we were trying to figure out how do we influence or get involved in software validation or testing early before it lands in the jet. And so talk really briefly about the team that you were able to put together between the program office, the folks in Fort Worth, and the 461st Flight Test Squadron that got earlier looks and caught problems earlier before they even left Fort Worth. Gotcha. So we stop catching them on the flight line and lose weeks or months in the process.
Yep, yes, sir. So it's pretty unique getting to work in that environment. Basically, we tried to build a system called the MVDL, the Multi-Ship Virtual Development Lab, and it's one of a pretty unique system that allows us to put direct OFP software, so the actual lines of code going into the jet, in a human-in-the-loop, pilot-operator-in-the-loop system 3 to 4 months before we field it even for flight test. We're using tools like Jira and some other agile software development type of things to make sure that those issues we find early on are found before they ever go to a jet, and certainly before they ever go out to the fleet. Working with the contractor themselves, so in Fort Worth, Lockheed Martin, as well as our engineers here, other developmental engineers, as well as the Navy, the JPO, the program office you mentioned, sir. Tons of different stakeholders, and then all managed under the guise of the ITT. So again, incorporating OT as well as DT from 3 different services. And it's worked out pretty well so far. We're still got some ways to go, but it's been exciting how fast it's trying to move.
Awesome.
Sure.
So I'll say thank you to you personally for building and leading in that coalition, but also thanks to all the other members of the team that continue to do that. It's the way we do business. Frankly, it's the right way to do business. I will tell you, Butcher, that you've already experienced in that team, and I've seen the results of that, both personally in a jet that I flew in earlier this week, but also in my other job, sitting in the wing headquarters. I've seen the benefit of your ability personally to work with a team and build trust. And folks, that is an example of you can only move at the speed of trust. And the more trust there is, the faster you can move. And I think that is an exceptional benefit of what I've observed out of your efforts on MVDL and other things like it for F-35. So thank you, and well done. All right, with that, I know last time Chief and I took the better part of an hour, and we're just over halfway, which means I get to do one of my favorite things every week, and that is I get to take your feedback. I get to try and answer your questions. If there's something that you'd like to see my perspective on or my insight on, I'm happy to answer those questions as I can. As always, if I can't answer it, I will. If I can't answer it, well, I won't. And if I don't know the answer, I will say, I don't know. But sometimes there's a phone a friend that can get your answer on live, and if not, we can get that answer back to you from an authoritative source just as quick as we can. So, folks, number 707-412-8922. Becca, if we don't have anything rung in, there are a couple items that I can push, but if we got any questions, I'll certainly take them now.
We have a few, sir, yes. The first one is, we've seen major changes in the Air Force in the last few years, from EPRs, PT, OCPs, etc. What big changes do you see coming in the near future?
So I will highlight that I actually think the status quo is change. A lot of folks think that we can get to a new place and then it'll be normalized, it'll be stable, and then we'll be able to go from there. What I have observed strongly, not just the career that I've led, but and the places I've served, but in the Air Force aggregating now, arguably a little bit more than 3 decades, but 27 years of active duty, I've observed that change is the norm. The vector for the change that you want, or shaping what change you are having, is actually the critical or the important part. So what changes do I see moving forward? We used to talk, well, even as recently as 2 years ago, and General Wilson, our most recent Vice Chief of Staff of the Air Force, he had it looked like a chunk of ice, but it was actually plexiglass that was just kind of shaped like an ice, and he had a big spike through it, a spike in it. And that talking point, I'm told, I was never in his office to see that, but I did talk to a few people that were there with him to talk on that topic, and I have seen pictures of it. And I've also heard him speak on this topic. He used to talk a lot about we need to get after the frozen middle, the folks that think or under the illusion that we can make things static. And if you are or you were in a group that well, innovation's for somebody or something else, or nope, this is the way I've done it, this is the way I'm going to do it, this is the way I've always done it, this is the way I'm going to continue to always do it. If you were somebody like that, thank you for, I'll say, unthawing the frozen middle. And for those of you that work with folks that are a little bit resistant or sometimes concerned about change, thank you for helping them be more comfortable. As General Bunch often says, we need to become comfortable with being uncomfortable, and change is just one of those items. So what big changes do I see moving forward in the United States Air Force? Candidly, all over the map, but when I look at what Secretary Kendall is talking about in his first few days, first couple weeks in office, I'm excited. I think his background, his vision, and his understanding of the way that the Department of the Air Force works will be able to allow him to rapidly get up to speed and start really making major headway and major progress and continue the momentum that we have experienced under the last senior leadership team across the Air Force, and really be an exceptional, I'll say flight lead, because you don't want to say the SecF is the wingman for the chief, but an exceptional flight lead for both the CSO and the CSAF as we try and keep the Air Force and the Space Force coordinated and good joint partners to each other as the Space Force grows and matures and hits what I would call full operational capability. So that's somewhat of a non-answer to the specific question, but if you read what's in the press and you read what our senior leaders are saying, we're going to downsize the number of MDSs. We're going to try and continue to drive to a younger fleet. We're going to continue to compete with our international competitors, and we're going to push technology, not just in airplanes, but in all domains. And we're going to continue to try to train like we fight and test like we fight, multi-domain as much as we possibly can. And so there are some super exciting items that are actually in realization right now, and we're certainly realizing them in test that are cross-domain and multi-domain. So whoever asked the question, if you have something very specific you want to know about, what do you think about, or is this going to happen? If I can't answer that, I will. If I can't, I won't. And if I don't know the answer, I'll get it to you. But thanks for asking that one. All right, Becca, what else do we have?
Okay. The question is, if COVID cases for the new variant are increasing, why are we sending kids back to school in person? And if there is an outbreak in the classroom, how are we dealing with that?
Yeah, so one of the things that's really important for me to highlight here is that I don't operate, I don't control, and I don't have direct authority over any of the schools that happen on the installation. I have many mission partners here. In fact, I host Major Baker and his boss as a mission partner. So we have a higher headquarters mission partner. We have Afotech as a mission partner. We have NASA as a mission partner. We have AFRL and the Rocket Lab as a mission partner. And we have DECA, commissary, mission partner, AFES, mission partner, and we also have the MURAC Joint Unified School District as a mission partner. As a partner, we work with the superintendent there and the principals and the administrators in the schools. And when they need another opinion or some advice on how do we mitigate from a public health perspective, anything, not just COVID, I have been very willing and very happy to send my public health experts down and advise them and recommend they do things. We also work closely with them when we have an active duty dependent that is in the school that unfortunately becomes COVID positive. And we work with them to quickly notify those and help them decide how large of a bubble to put their quarantine around. So I certainly care deeply about the students in the classroom and what happens on the campus on base, but I don't control any of that. Now, given that I don't control any of it, I still think the question has some validity in, hey, Delta is extremely contagious. It's airborne, and we know it. The case rate is going up. Why are we in school? And what are we going to do if something happens? Let me tell you, what did the school do when something happened? They had a classroom where a student, I think it was on the second day of school, so this is their first week, on the second day of school, a member of a classroom student was tested positive for COVID. Their protocols were followed. Effectively, that means that they send the entire class into remote learning, which they are well proficient in or well practiced in because of what they did all year last year. And that classroom continues to run without missing a beat. One of the big advantages that the schools on base have now that they didn't have 15 months ago when we first went into virtual school in March of 2020 is that today, every single student in the entirety of the schools from TK all the way up through high school have their very own Chromebook. At some grade level and above, they actually get checked out like Butcher and I, when he was a youngin', we would get checked out books, right? Well, now they get checked out a Chromebook. Below that grade level, the Chromebooks stay on a rack in their classroom, and when they use them, they get them out of the rack, and when they're done, they put them back. If a class, like the class that did have a COVID positive happen, they take that rack of Chromebooks to the front office, and then as the students or a parent come by to pick up the Chromebook for the student so that they can continue to connect via home and use the tools that are available via Chromebook at home, the statement was, and we can continue without missing a beat. I argue that there's probably maybe a couple of beats in there that might not be perfect, but that should allow quickly on the very next school day for them to up and reconstitute while they live through the remaining quarantine countdown for that classroom. Now that would include the teacher as well, because of the way that the schools are set up and what we know about SARS-CoV-2 Delta variant. So that's what we did, or that's what the school did when they had a COVID positive already. As many of you may be aware, not in our district and not in the valley here, but just south of the valley, as close as Santa Clarita, they're already shutting down entire schools because their case rates got too high, and there's just no other way to stomp it out. When I spoke with Mr. Cortez, I saw him Tuesday. He said, we're ready, and if we need to go that far, we will. But he's confident, and I am also confident that the cases will be sporadic enough and they'll be contained enough because of the way we're not crossing cohorts, that we'll be able to handle it and he'll be able to handle it in a classroom by classroom environment. So that's the why, or that's the how we handle a COVID positive case if we get it. That is not much different or dissimilar from how we handle a COVID positive case in the Child Development Center or in a work unit. So society does what society needs to do to fight through this combat front called COVID. Now, why are we back in school now versus it was just as bad and we weren't in school back then? Two things. One, we've learned a lot. We know what to do, how to mitigate, how to protect. You saw Lieutenant Colonel Westy talk about when you're fighting COVID, use your smarts. And if PA can call up her chart from last time and we can tell you what the smarts are again, I'll happily talk through those. But we can use our smarts. And only one of the S's in smarts is shots. And that's the other thing that's different. Right now, as opposed to last time we had a big surge and the schools went remote, most of, or many of the folks that are around the children in school are vaccinated. And frankly, many of the students themselves are fully vaccinated. And that is a significant advantage that we have now that we didn't have last time we were in school. And then let me add a third thing here. We are confident, I'll say confident as a society, but certainly the educators in our society are confident that you do not get the same quality of learning if you are 100% remote for an extended period of time that you get when you have a mix, at least, if not actual full-time in real life education and interaction between teachers and students, especially at the elementary and the pre-secondary or the primary school levels. High school, maybe not, but then they're losing out on social development and social interaction, which is also a loss that you just can't make up for when you go virtual. And so that realization that gain of some additional learning in and outside the classroom is certainly worth a little bit of additional risk is also gone into the calculus of what many community leaders and many schools have gone through. As you know, masks are mandatory in schools in California. I saw exceptional mask adherence when I was there on Tuesday, and I think that's a great example of another thing that we're doing well here. She had a slide that was SMARTS. It was an acronym, SMARTS. If you guys could find that one and highlight it, that'd be great. I don't need to go through her whole slide deck, though, but if you find it, we can show it. That's great. All right. While they're looking for that, Becca, in the broadcast room, anything else wrong in?
Yes, sir. We received a question about, can we consider letting retirees on base if they are fully vaccinated and wearing masks besides Wednesdays and weekends?
Well, sure, we can consider it. I have already considered that. And the thing that I want to drive here is that at the base access rules that are posted on the www.edwards.af.mil/coronavirus on that page. So the Edwards base page, click the coronavirus bar at the top, go to that second page, scroll down, and on the left side there's the comprehensive COVID directive. On that, on page 4, there's a matrix that says at these HPCon levels, these are the people that are allowed access on the base. What the person is asking about is that at HPCon Bravo Charlie, and I guess their theory asking about Delta as well, if a retiree is fully vaccinated and they wear a mask all the time, why don't they have better base access? The answer is that at elevated HPCon levels, especially Charlie and absolutely Delta, we have to minimize, in a significant manner, minimize the amount of population mixing opportunities that we have. And therefore, the matrix that exists today that actually has been solid and well-trodden, well-proved, that has been in place since May is the one that I intend to keep and move forward with. Now, it is entirely likely that there are going to be increased requirements for vaccinations. It's pre-decisional right now on what that's going to be, but that is entirely likely. You've heard the president communicate that federal workers we're going to implement now vaccination or testing or some combination thereof. We don't yet have implementation ability on that or implementation details on that, but that's on the way. And also for folks wearing uniforms like Butcher and I. The Secretary of Defense is on record and has a policy out that says mid-September or full licensure of the vaccine, whichever occurs first, and then it's mandatory. And so we will continue to increase the vaccination rates. Unfortunately, what we've learned with Delta is that, unlike previous versions of the virus, Delta appears to quite readily, not as easy, but quite readily still develop in folks that are vaccinated, and those vaccinated folks may still be spreaders, even though the vaccine has done an exceptional job of keeping them out of the hospital and keeping their mortality rates down. And so for all those reasons, I appreciate the question, and I certainly understand the basis of the question. But retirees at Bravo and Charlie are very welcome to be on the installation on non-duty days and Wednesdays. And I don't intend to change that anytime in the near future. And potentially until we well, I don't intend to change it at all, because the way we'll get folks more access is when the conditions permit a decrease to HPCon alpha or HPCon 0. So let me tell you how much of a lean forward and how much confidence I already have that a lot of you are vaccinated, a lot more of you are going to get vaccinated, and we're all doing the right things. Our case rates in the aerospace valley right now are such that if I follow without applying a lot of judgment to it, if I just look at the numbers that exist for case rates, and then I look at the recommended HPCon, we're in Delta territory right now. Well, now we're not at HPCon Delta because I think there are other mitigators, and I don't need to go to Delta because I want to still execute mission, and I think we can keep the cases under control, and therefore we're only at Bravo. But the access that we have and the mission that we're able to execute right now are a testament to the performance of this team and the demonstrated performance of this team the last time we were at HPCon Bravo and HPCon Charlie. So I appreciate the question, and I understand the thought behind it, and I also appreciate that. I encourage everyone to continue to go get vaccinated if you can at your first available opportunity. Again, it's not mandatory, but it is. I certainly see a benefit in it, and the numbers of folks that are not vaccinated and in the ICUs and dying right now are still way above 90%. It pains me to think that there's something that a lot of us could do to keep those numbers out of your house and your life and your work unit that's available to you, and we're not taking advantage of that. All right, Becca, I appreciate that question. If the person wants to ask a follow-on, I'm very happy to get to it. Okay. If there's a specific reason that a retiree or dependent of a retiree or a veteran needs to be on base on a duty day other than Wednesday, contact the retiree office in the FSS or contact us direct in the front office, and we can work that for you on a case-by-case basis for a very specific reason or a very specific need, because certainly I haven't thought of everything. All right, next one.
Okay. We have one that said, I have heard some units are doing stand-down wellness days called A4L. I don't know what it is and was wondering if it's something the whole base will be doing.
Yeah, so A4L stands for Airmen for Life, Airmen and the number 4 life, right? It's a fantastic, holistic wellness and unit morale program that I don't know if it started there or it just went full scale at the 31st Fighter Wing at Aviano, but it has made it into our community and to our wing via the maintenance group. So the 412th maintenance group is implementing, and then they're slowly going to scale the Airmen for Life concept. They didn't drag it 100% wholesale, copy and paste from Aviano to here. They tailored it to what we're doing, and that was one thing that Colonel Clements, our maintenance group commander, said, hey, boss, we're moving out on this. He didn't say, may I? He said, we're doing it. And I went, fantastic. Let us know how it works. And if you think it scales, well, absolutely do it. So the concept is Airmen for Life. Airmen, the number 4, life. I bet if you Google that, you'll see some write-ups and talks on it. There's a circle kind of emblem that the Airmen for Life symbol is, and it really talks about the ways that we are Airmen for Life and the things that you kind of do at an Airmen for Life event. And it actually merges quite nicely with Comprehensive Airmen Fitness. Comprehensive Airmen Fitness and the Airmen for Life are very synergistic thoughts as they go together there. So that's the answer to the question. I'm glad you asked. Thank you for asking, because if you had the question, other people did too. Let me foot stomp one opportunity. If you're an A4L unit executing A4L, or if you're another unit and you're just looking for a day on the calendar to do something that is unstructured time, morale building, esprit de corps, you got some maybe you want to do a picnic outside, use your counter-COVID smarts. A date that I highly encourage you to look at is Friday, the 8th of October. Again, Friday, the 8th of October. On that day, I've approved a no-fly day. It will be a duty day, and it will be a work day. I also intend to approve an alternate duty location not necessarily just in the afternoon, but for about 4 hours of the day on one of our ramps. And on the ramp on that day, we're going to have some exotic car clubs here. We're going to have airplanes out on the ramp. So if you want to take holiday photos, or you just want to go look at some beautiful airplanes that happen to be static. They're not static airplanes. They're actual flyers. And you want to talk and interface with some folks in an outside at a relatively safe environment. That is for you. We'll have probably a 5K run and maybe a little bit longer bike ride on the flight line that morning. In the afternoon, there'll be a few events at other places on the base. And then later in the afternoon, the first Friday, because it's the 8th of October, they won't have done it the first of the month, they'll do it on the 8th, is a outdoor-focused but Oktoberfest themed drinks and food and snacks at the club. So Friday, the 8th of October is another great day, or is a great day, if you want to target a morale building, an esprit de corps building, or some type of a teamwork or a wingman type day event. 8 October, I encourage you to set it up. All right, next question, Becca.
And sir, just to note, that is internal to base personnel.
Yes, and it's not that so what Becca just said is we're not going to open the gates on that duty day for those that wouldn't be here otherwise. It's targeting specifically at the folks that are here, really in a team building and teamwork mentality. Full disclosure, we will have a few guests on that are the car clubs, but that's a partnership we've had quite a while, and this is a recurring meeting as they pull the gearhead airmen in, and we get to talk to them and vice versa. So I'm encouraged about it. All right, what you got, Becca?
Okay. Any updates on getting assignment incentive pay here at Edwards or anytime soon, or an estimate of when?
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't have any updates right now, and I wish I did. So that's the short answer there for AIP, Airman or Assignment Incentive Pay, AIP. It has made it through the MAGCOM. It's still through the MAGCOM, and it's still on the air staff. When Chief Bass was here a little more than a month ago, she said, hey, 412 Test Wing teammates, what can I take back to the air staff? One of my asks of her to take back was, hey, we'll find out where this is and unstick it if it's stuck. If it's not stuck, then let's get it to decision and announce that decision soon. So I'm optimistic it could drop any day, but we haven't had any updates in the last couple weeks on that. On a related note, we did have a breakthrough for housing. Those of you that are waiting on housing, those of you that are in the TLF, or frankly in lodging too, as of Friday the 13th, last Friday, so 1 week ago, once you have exhausted your TLE and while you are actively searching for, or you've acquired but you can't yet move into your leased house or you're building one, so you're kind of just in a lurch, you're waiting for your house to open up on base, and you're staying on base lodging, the rate of that lodging has been chopped for the rest of this calendar year, I hope you don't need to stay there that long, but to 1/30th of your BAH. And that was from the Air Force Deputy Chief of Staff, Lieutenant General Brian Kelly, in a memo that he dated last Friday the 13th. So I've already checked with 2. I'm waiting for one more person to tell me it has worked for them, and then I'm going to declare success and throw some accolades where they're well-deserved in our lodging staff and other folks that made that happen locally. But the 2 folks that I have spoken with already both said it was automatic. In fact, one guy I spoke with this morning, I said, hey, how's it going for you? And he said, I called lodging on Saturday to find out what I needed to do to get the rate changed, and they said, we've already done it. So I think there's a lot of lean forward, do the right things for the right reasons, folks in lodging, and this was a tool that we'd asked for, screamed for actually, and we finally have it, and we were able to implement it immediately. So that's a good news story. The related story is that we only have so many TLFs, so they are full, and they're going to continue to be full. If you are in a TLF, get out as soon as you have a place to live otherwise, and make that room available for somebody else that is potentially has a less easy place to live while they're waiting for their residence. And if you're in there, know that that's the right place for you to be while you're waiting for housing, and I'm glad we can provide that to you at what is a reasonable cost reference to your BAH. Right, Becca? Anything else?
No, sir. That was the last one.
So I ran the table. Holy cow. And look at this. Right on time. I don't know what else to say, folks. I'll say, but I will say this. I appreciate what the team here does that allows these broadcasts to happen. So they're not. I could make them yell and scream and shout behind the booth, but the PA team here, the Media Fusion folks that are partners with our PA professionals, thank you always for everything you do. These broadcasts don't just happen. The setting up, the takedown when we do these remote is huge. This team has already broadcast 2 live events that I've been in today, this being one of them, and the other was the Space Test Fundamentals Class 21-2 graduation at the Base Theater this morning, attended by, I think I counted 10 DVs from the United States Space Force, including the first Space Force astronaut to be in space as a member of the Space Force. And he just returned in May, formerly United States Air Force, now United States Space Force Colonel. And he was on one of the SpaceX rides up and return rides. So good speaker, great event. Wouldn't have happened without the professionals here in PA making that happen. So thank you all, PA, for doing that. It is so easy to shout out your greatness, and we often forget how challenging it can be to make it look as easy as you do. So thank you very much. In addition to that, Becca, I know if you're off camera, but thank you for being here. Thank you for everything you do for the front office and by extension, the wing and the installation. It's always great partnering with you, and I appreciate you reading off questions and moderating for us. Butcher, congratulations again on your win last quarter. Thanks for being here. I'm proud to serve with you, and it's been good working with you. And thanks for telling us a little bit about what you do and where you're from and reading a word with me here today. So with that, folks, I wish you a great weekend. A little smoky out there, but boy, the weather was really nice. A couple days ago, we got a nice cold front to blow through, literally, and it was gorgeous. Forecast is that will likely continue into the weekend, so enjoy it. Enjoy the weekend, enjoy the time off, enjoy the weather, be safe, use your smarts, SMARTS, and be good counter-COVID smart while you do that, and then come back ready to roar into mission on Monday. So we are going to be here next Friday, the 27th of August, for another broadcast. So until then, so long for now from Takata 2.